second Monday at 7 p.m. W5FC.
Do you know on Stranger Things there was an episode where they were talking on the radio, guys started smoking, and they're singing.
I know. I was like,
So
violation,
stupid.
violation. You can't sing.
No?
Not allowed to
I know.
And
No.
worse than that, they're singing the never-ending story, which
Yeah.
is
The never-ending story.
I hate.
Everybody hates
So
that song.
dumb.
And everybody's hearing that you hate never-ending story. So if you've got any relatives or anything that are watch this stream, like we only have like 2 people that watch it anyway.
Okay, so that mouse is over there. Do we have a mouse over here?
Oh, you want the scroll to see it? What I'll do is I'm going to move this off of here.
I was just going to stretch that down a little bit so I didn't have to scroll.
Oh,
up
okay.
and down so
That's fine.
much.
Yeah, because I follow along with this one anyway. If you can see that.
Yeah.
then I'm welcome. All right. Hold on. All right. There you go. Okay, you're set. And we'll go over here, and I can actually put you on camera. Whoops. It's me. I don't want me. It could be.
That's why I need to be over here.
Still see me. I see me.
We always see you.
I gotta move this
And we watch your antics every Saturday night.
Every
You're like, I'm crushing your head. Crush, crush, crush. I just watched that Kids in the Hall. I forgot that that's where that
They
came from.
crush the head
Yeah.
for the force perspective.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Crushing your head.
I've crushed
I'd
so
forgotten that's where that came
many
from. I was like,
kids
oh my
in
god.
life. No idea.
I was doing that to my cat the other day. He was over on the ottoman and I was looking at him. I was like, I'm petting your head. I'm petting your head.
And he ignored you, didn't he?
Oh yeah, big time.
Of course. Of course. We are
Looks at me and
1
goes,
minute away.
"Oh,
Wait till you
mother."
hear it. When the repeater switches over, you'll get a kick out of this.
Oh, no. Now, Hudson, do you have a call sign? Oh, okay. So he's kind of a guest.
He's a guest. He'll be third party for you.
Guest.
So if he does anything wrong, you go to jail. You go
Oh.
to FCC jail.
Great. Is that like Facebook jail?
It's like that, only worse. They put you in real jail.
Oh, I see.
Chairman, I need to make myself
Here it
very
is.
clear.
Yeah.
If we uplink now, Skynet will be controlling the building.
But who be in control of Skynet, right?
That is correct.
Skynet.
It's from a movie.
Yes. From the Terminator, part 12 or something.
And what's in the terminal with you? We need to catch up.
Here we go. Does anyone need to use the repeater before we begin the 9 p.m. Skynet? This is KF5PDS. My name is Billy, and I'll be your net control for this session of the DARC Skynet. Skynet is a weekly net called every Saturday night at 9 p.m. concerning the subject of astronomy. Our purpose is to help amateurs become more familiar with the nighttime and daytime sky, astronomy, and space in general. This net is open to all amateurs interested in this topic, and we encourage your participation, comments, and suggestions for this net. Stations with priority or emergency traffic may enter the net at any time by using the pro sign, break, and your call sign. Is there any emergency or priority traffic?
Here, you drink
Just
extra
do the,
water?
like this. There you go.
This is a directed net. Please do not transmit without direction from net control. That would be me. And stations are reminded to ID at the end of your transmissions. This weekly net operates on 146.880 megahertz with a PL tone of 110.9. Check-ins via Echolink are also possible using the W5FC-R station ID or Echolink node 37247. Tonight's topics, astronomy charts, pictures, and live audio-video links are available online. Go to www.w5fc.org right now for the complete list. And remember to tell others about this popular net. All amateur operators are welcome. You need not be any member of the Amateur Radio Club to participate.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, just do double fingers and slide it up. There you go.
The net is 90 minutes long and is structured in several parts. general announcements, Texas Astronomical Society of Dallas events, where and when you can look through a telescope, National Space Society events, discussion topic of the evening, Was Up, spatial exploration and space history, constellation of the week, space launches of the week, recent astronomical discoveries, visible satellite passages over the next couple of days, astronomical Q&A, and our 73 round.
Looks like maybe there's something down there. Interesting. Go ahead.
All amateurs licensed to transmit on this frequency are invited to check in. So we'll start with round one, low power and short time check-ins. If you are low power, short time, please come now with your call sign phonetically, name, and where you're transmitting from this evening. And if you're at field day, welcome. This is the field day edition of Skynet.
Golf, uniform, Foxtrot, Romeo. Short time for low power and field day.
The Kilo Golf 5, uniform Foxtrot Romeo. Did I get your call sign? If you could repeat your name and location. It was a little scratchy. I didn't get those.
Yes, the call is Kilo, Golf, 5, uniform, Foxtrot, Romeo. The name is Jacob. I'm in Farmers Branch. I'm actually at the W5SC field day, just made location.
Okay, I think I copied. That was Jacob in Farmers Branch. Was that correct? Okay, I think I got you as KG5 UFR, Jacob in Farmers Branch. If that's not correct, please come back with your call sign. We'll move on. If there is any other low power or short time check-ins, please come now with your call sign phonetically, name, and where you're transmitting from.
Kilo, Foxtrot 5, Zulu, Bravo, Lima. Bill at field day site. I might be short time tonight, but I'll be around.
Kilo Echo 5, Juliet, India, Tango, Randy, Farmers Branch, Dallas, Amateur Radio Club Building Site.
Whiskey 5,
Okay, I think I got Kilo Echo 5, Kilo India Juliet. Was that correct? And if so, please repeat your name and location. I could not pick that up. Okay, someone was trying to come in. You weren't quite hitting it. Call sign beginning Whiskey 5. If you will come back with your call sign phonetically and slowly with your name and location. I got Whiskey 5, but then it cut out.
Hey, Whiskey 5, Golf, uniform, Sierra. Whiskey 5, Golf Uniform Sierra, portable, rowlet, low power.
Okay, copy. Whiskey 5, Golf Uniform Sierra. Is that Gus in Rowlett?
Roger, affirmative.
Copy. Welcome, Gus. Any other low power or short time check-ins? If so, please come now with your call sign, phonetically, name, and location. Okay, not hearing any, so we'll move on to general check-ins. So we'll have the same for general. If you'll come with your call sign, phonetically and slowly, name and location.
This is Kilo Foxtrot 5, Juliet Hotel Alpha, Chaz, Mesquite. Good to be here today.
November, Tango 5, Tango Mike, Tony at the field-based site in Farmers Branch.
Okay, so we recognize Kilo Foxtrot 5, Juliet Hotel Alpha, Chaz in Mesquite, and NT5TM, Tony, Field Day, Farmers Branch. Welcome to Skynet. Do we have any other general check-ins?
This is Kilo Golf 5, Alpha Papa Lima, Patrick in Dallas.
This is Alpha Golf, Sierra Golf, Antonio in Oak Cliff.
Oh no.
Kilo Bravo 9, Sierra Oscar Kilo, Sean in Fort Worth.
This is Kilo Golf 5, Whiskey Victor Lima, James in Carrollton.
Okay, so let's pick up. We've got Kilo Golf 5, Alpha Papa Lima, Patrick in Dallas. Antonio, if you could come back slower with your call sign and location, please. I need to get those.
Yes, sure. This is Alpha Golf, Niner, Sierra Golf, and I am Yokli heading to the field day.
So, Antonio, you're at Field Day Farmers Branch, is that correct?
I am in Oak Cliff right now, but I am heading to the field day. I am right now in Oak Cliff.
Okay, copy that you're in Oak Cliff right now. Thank you very much. Alpha Golf 9, Sierra Golf. And then we have Kilo Bravo 9, Sierra Oscar Kilo, Sean in Fort Worth. And Kilo Golf 5, Whiskey Victor Charlie, James in Carrollton. Okay, do we have any more general check-ins? If so, please come now with your call sign phonetically and slowly, name and location.
Kilo Bravo 5, Delta Mike Charlie, Brian in Roanoke.
Copy that, Brian. Did you say Kilo Bravo 5, Delta Mike Charlie?
QSL, that is correct. KB5 DMC.
Okay, copy that. Kilo Bravo 5, Delta Mike Charlie, Brian in Roanoke. All right, let's move on to Echolink check-ins. I will allow extra time for the signal to drop, so if you're on Echolink and you'd like to check in via voice, please do so. I do not have Echolink up. My phone's not getting any signal, so if you want to check in, please come through with your call sign, name, and location.
Kilo 5, Kilo Tango X-ray, Kelly in Ignacio, Colorado, south of Durango.
Golf 5, Zulu, Mike, Golf, Joe in Arlington.
Okay, the net recognizes Kilo 5, Kilo Tango X-ray, Kelly in Ignacio, Colorado, and Kilo Golf 5, Zulu Mike Golf in Arlington. Do we have any other check-ins via Echolink? If so, please come now with your call sign phonetically, name and location.
Control, this is KF5JHA. I just thought I'd let you know over on Echolink is KF5DCG John and also N5IMSJJ.
Okay, thank you very much, KF5JHA Chaz. I do have Echolink up now, so I see John KF5DCG and N5IMSJJ. So welcome to Skynet. The net also recognizes WB5OZL, Brenda at Field Day Farmers Branch, and Tom KE5ICX, also here at Field Day Farmers Branch. All right, let's move on to general announcements. Do we have any general announcements for this evening's net? These can be ham, astronomical, space, or of general interest to licensed hams. If so, please come now with your call sign. Okay, not hearing any announcements. Go ahead with a few announcements of my own. The AMSAT Radio Amateur Satellite Group has 2 nets available to Dallas residents on Tuesday evenings at 8 p.m. Central Time. You'll need Echolink installed and you registered. You can find the net under Groups and AMSAT. Also, a live audio link is available on their website at www.amsatnet.com. This net originates in Houston, Texas. The Dallas AMSAT Net East, Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas, is every Tuesday at 8 p.m. on this repeater, 146.880 megahertz with a PL tone of 110.9 on Tuesdays. 5HYP is the net control. All are welcome to check in. First Tuesday of the month is the DARC Club Night, so there's no AMSAT East on that night. The Dallas AMSATnet West is every Wednesday at 9 p.m. on the Arlington repeater, 147.140 megahertz, with a PL tone of 110.9 and a positive offset. The DARC also hosts several Monday night nets. The first Monday is Ham Fixin's Net. This is a net where we discuss and share recipes. If you have a question about food, anecdote, or recipe that you'd like to share, join us for Ham Fixin's Net. On the second Monday of the month is MCOM 101, Emergency Communications. On the third Monday of the month, come back for a second helping of Ham Fixin's Net. And on the fourth Monday is GeekNet. And if there is a fifth Monday, it is a surprise net. If we told you what it is, it wouldn't be a surprise. On-air participation is encouraged. The Tuesday AMSATnet East is at 8 p.m., which has Q&A, info, and news for amateur satellites. Fridays is CERT City simulation at 8 p.m. Learn about emergency radio communications via CERT-trained amateur radio operators. Melissa, KI5GRH, is usually the net control. Visit the most disaster-prone city in the universe every Friday. CERT City, all are welcome. And Saturdays is the Night of Nets with TechNet from 7 to 8 p.m. and, of course, Skynet at 9 p.m. And following Skynet at 10:30 is the Afterglow Movie Net. We'll have more on that in just a moment. And first and third Sundays is the Dallas Amateur Radio Club meeting on the air. Join us daily for the ARRLNet National Traffic System Training Net every night at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. All are welcome to check in on any or all of these nets. The week, and then we come back Saturday night after Skynet, and we discuss the movie. We discuss aspects such as plot, characterization, music, special effects, or any other interesting bits about the film. And then after the net, we'll choose another movie to watch the following week. So let's hear about tonight's Afterglow info. So I'm going to turn the net over to Tom, KE5ICX, if you will give us the Afterglow info.
KE5ICX. Please listen carefully. We will be watching this movie this evening, but first I want to give you the details. Tonight's Afterglow info is as follows. John Travolta looked at the science fiction genius, and whatever he was naming himself, the mysterious man wore gold robes and held a Jacob's ladder in his hand. John, I now give you the outer galactic name of Estan Diaz, quantum-flavored nutrient the third, he exclaimed. Travolta was very excited. Now came the difficult part, the final Jacob's ladder discharge. Travolta yelped from the sensation, but was pleased he had been accepted into the celestial organization. It was a small price to pay, and the electrical burn would eventually fade. Thankfully, the discharge was something most people couldn't see. The gold-robed man smiled from a sizable donation and the fact that Travolta said he'd make him his magnum opus into a movie. Travolta would also appear in the eventual movie, probably in the musical finale at the end. The script was still not written. Join us for what is now considered the worst SF movie in the eyes of hands everywhere in Dallas, Battlefield Earth, from 2000, tonight, live, on the sort of big screen, at the DARC site at 3325 Valley View Lane, Farmers Branch, Texas. Join us immediately after this net at 10:30. All are welcome. You can even come from other field day sites and enjoy. We have popcorn to throw at the screen. This is KE5ICX, back to net control.
And you can keep up with all the DARC events, nets, and activities by going to the club w5fc.org. So at this time, we'll see if we have any additional check-ins. If so, please come now with your call sign, name, and where you're transmitting from.
Kilo 5 Bravo Tango Whiskey. My name is Bryn, Bravo Romeo Echo November. I'm at Lake Lavon.
Okay, so the net recognizes here in the trailer at Field Day, Farmers Branch, Kilo 5, Bravo, Papa Bernie. Welcome, Bernie. And I've got Kilo 5, Bravo, Tango Whiskey. If you could come again with your name and location.
Sure thing. I guess we doubled. It's Bryn, Bravo Romeo Echo November. I'm at Lake Lavon.
Okay, so I've got Lake Lavon. I'm sorry, you did double with someone else, and I was writing their call sign down, but I didn't get the name. So is your name at Lake Lavon, how do you spell your name? Is it Bryn, Bravo, Romeo, India, November?
Bravo Romeo Echo November.
Okay, copy that, Bryn, and if you could repeat your call sign one more time for me.
Sure thing. It's Kilo 5 Bravo Tango Whiskey.
Okay, copy that. Kilo 5 Bravo Tango Whiskey, Bryn, Lake Lavon. Welcome to Skynet. Do we have any other check-ins? Okay, not hearing any, so we'll move on to our next segment, which is Texas Astronomical Society of Dallas events, where and when you can look through a telescope. So at this time, I'll call on Chaz, KF5JHA. The net is yours.
Thank you, Billy. Good evening, everyone. The last Texas Astronomical Society of Dallas Club meeting was last night, and it was live as well as on Zoom. It was held at the University of Texas at Dallas in Richardson. That's on Campbell Road. The featured speaker was Dr. Joe Howard from NASA, the lead optical designer from the James Webb Space Telescope. It was fascinating. And I told us about the history leading up to it, how it was designed, and how it was built, and how it got deployed. Also about the future space telescopes that are going to be on the planning board. So that was fascinating. The next Texas Astronomical Society of Dallas Club meeting will be held on Friday, July the 22nd at 7:30. The meeting will be in person at the University of Texas at Dallas once again, and also held on Zoom. Now, the Saturday night public observing sessions have begun again. Skynet was picked to be on Saturday night so that there was an opportunity for live reports from the Texas Astronomical Society of Dallas public observing sessions. So check TAS's website, texasastro.org, for up-to-date information and details about meetings and public observing sessions. Actually, there was a special public observing session last night at the same time as the club meeting. So, but go to the website and you'll find out this information. That's all I've got for the moment. This is KF5JHA Backdoor Net Control. Billy, it's all yours.
Great, thank you very much, Chaz. This is KF5TDS Billy, your net control for this session of the DARC Skynet. All right, next up is National Space Society events and activities. Bill, N5BB, are you on frequency? Okay, so I'm not hearing Bill, so I'll go ahead and read a little blurb about the National Space Society of North Texas. Their website is nssofnt.org,
And the National Space Society of North Texas has an active Facebook page. Just type in National Space Society of North Texas into the search box and request access. You'll receive meeting reminders and club activities. Next up is discussion topic of the evening. So for my topic tonight is the rare alignment of 5 planets and the moon, and there's a stunning sky photo. Okay, so this information comes to us from space.com. There's also a good Nat Geo article about this event as well, but as you go down that article, it will ask you for your email address to subscribe to read the full article. So if you want to read a full article without providing an email address, you can go to space.com and check out their article there. So this article is by Elizabeth Howell, which was published about 21 hours ago. You still have to catch this rare lineup before it disappears until 2040. The rare sight of bright planets lining up with the moon wowed sky watchers around the world Friday, with some gearing up for more this weekend to see a planetary sight that won't happen again until 2040. Throughout June, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn have lined up from left to right in their orbital order from the Sun before dawn in the southeastern sky. Early Friday, June 24th, the moon joined the planet parade in an awesome sight captured by astrophotographer Wright Dobbs, a meteorologist for the U.S. National Weather Service in Tallahassee, Florida. Seeing the night sky is amazing, and knowing the rarity of these alignments, you have to take every opportunity to view and capture it, Dobbs told Space.com in an email after sharing an image of the fivesome from St. Cloud, Florida on Friday. Dobbs is a veteran night sky photographer, and you can see his photos on the Facebook page, as well as on Twitter and Instagram as @WrightDobbs. So Wright Dobbs shot his image with a Sony A7 II and was composed of 3-image panorama with a Sigma 14mm f1.8 lens. Each image was exposed at ISO 1600 f6.3 for 15 seconds. So again, his image was shot with a Sony A7 II and was composed of a 3-image panorama with a Sigma 14mm f1.8 lens. Each image was exposed at ISO 1600 f6.3 for 15 seconds. So another astronomical phenomenon will be visible in June, the M13 globular star cluster, a tightly packed spherical collection of stars. The M13, also known as the Hercules cluster, contains thousands of stars, which are thought to be around 12 billion years old, to the universe itself, NASA says. So there's good information about the planetary alignment from space.com. This is Kilo Foxtrot 5, Papa Delta Sierra, Billy, your net control for this session of the DARC Skynet. So let's do a quick check-in round. If there's anyone on frequency that has not to tonight's net yet, please come now with your call sign phonetically, slowly, with your name and location. Sandy. So we'll move on to our next segment, Was Up. So at this time, I will turn the net over to Chaz, KF5JHA. The net is yours.
Evening, everyone. Once again, this is Chaz, KF5JHA. Thank you very much, Billy. I work in the astrophysics labs and the geology labs at the Dallas College on the Brookhaven campus, and we call this segment of Skynet Was Up. That was slide number 1. I don't know if we're doing our video version of it tonight or not. Okay. I need to pull up my mini iPad and take a look at that. Slide number 2, please. On June the 20th, the moon was at its third quarter phase, so the current phase of the moon is a waning crescent. It's a very thin crescent in the early morning sky. You might be able to see it. The moon is new on June the 28th. On June the 29th, the moon will be at apogee, which is the point in the moon's orbit that is furthest from the Earth at a distance of 406,580 kilometers. July the 7th, the moon will be at first quarter phase. On July the 13th, the moon will be full. Also on July the 13th, the moon will be at apogee, which is the point in the moon's orbit that is closest to the Earth at a distance of 357,264 kilometers. On July the 16th, the moon day at Frontiers of Flight Museum will happen. How did I slide that one in there? There'll be more details about that in a little bit. On July the 20th, the moon will be at third quarter phase. Slide master, slide number 3, please. All right. So, did any of you out there celebrate it a few days ago on June the 21st at 4:14 a.m. Central Daylight Time? I could have given you a call if you wanted me to at that time. It was the moment of the summer solstice in the northern hemisphere. It's the longest day and shortest night for the northern hemisphere. The sun rose and set at its furthest northern point on the horizon. This is the result of the tilt of the Earth's axis of rotation on June the 21st. The northern hemisphere is more directly pointed toward the sun than at any other time of the year. Slide number 4, please. Since this is field day and all of you will be up probably all night long, well, in just a few hours, the moon and Venus, Billy was just talking about this, the moon and Venus will be in conjunction on the morning of June 26th in the east-northeastern early morning sky. Part of that great alignment. Right now you can see all 5 visible planets. In fact, if truth be known, you can find all 9, yes, there's 9 planets in the solar system in the early morning sky. Might need a telescope for a few of them, yes. Slide master, slide number 5, please. The June Bootes meteor shower maximum is tomorrow night. The zenith hourly rate will be somewhere between 0 and 100. Sometimes you get a few, sometimes you get a bunch. I always suggest that you go camping at one of the 89 state parks and wildlife natural areas. Remember that usually the best time to watch meteors is the hour before dawn. But since Sunday is our next best chance for rain, it probably will be cloudy. Slide master, slide number 6. On June 27th, the moon will be next to another planet, Mercury. So, you'll get to see Mercury and Venus, and above that, you'll see Mars and Jupiter and Saturn. This is going to be a great time to go out and take a look. So, I'm going to try to get up early tomorrow morning. Well, I will be up early tomorrow morning and take a look and see if I can find some of the alignment. So, on June 27th, the moon and the planet Mercury will be in conjunction in the early morning east-northeastern sky. Slide master, slide number 7. Now let's jump all the way to July. July the 13th, in the early morning northeastern sky, the planet Venus will be about 1/3 of a degree away from the Crab Nebula, also known as M1. Messier's list number 1. A telescope will be required to observe the Crab Nebula. The Crab Nebula is the remains of a supernova from the year 1054 AD. It is kind of interesting that Venus, the brightest thing in our sky other than the sun or the moon, and now the planet that is very closest to one of the brightest things that ever observed in the sky other than the sun or the moon. Kind of interesting. I challenge all of you to go out there and take a look at that on July the 13th. If some of you are astrophotographers, see if you can get a picture of both of them at the same time, not in two different images, but at the same time in the same image. It'll be kind of interesting because one's very bright, one's pretty dim. And this is KF5JJ, and this is Skynet. Slide Master, slide number 8, please. Once again, the Texas Astronomical Society meeting was last night and had featured speaker Joe Howard, lead optical designer of the James Webb Space Telescope. It was great. I think we had a total of 63 people, I think. More than half of them were online on Zoom. The other half, or less than half, about 40% of them, were on campus at University of Dallas and Richardson. Now, the next one will be held on July the 22nd, and again, it will be virtual as well as in person. Also, the observing stations on Saturday nights has begun once again. Go to texasastro.org for up-to-date information and details about meetings and public observing stations. Now, Slide Master, slide number 9. Do any of you out there in Radio Land have any questions or need a fill or any of this information? Maybe you have just a general astronomy question. Come now with your call sign if you have a question.
November Tango 5, Tango Mike.
Tony, you must have a 50-watt HT with you there at Field Day because you come through just as clear as a bell. And if you ask me where babies come from, I might refer you somewhere else. But go ahead, come with your question.
Well, thank you, Chaz. Actually, I'm mobile at the minute, and unfortunately some road noise drowned out the name of that meteor shower you mentioned. I'd like to look it up and double-check the date and things. Could you please remind me of the name of that meteor shower that's coming up soon? NT5TM.
Sure, absolutely. It's the June Boötes meteor shower. It's named after the constellation of Boötes. It looks like it's spelled boots, but it's pronounced Boötes. So, Boötes meteor shower, and it is going to be at maximum tomorrow night, June 26th, 27th. Did that help you? This is KF5JJ.
It did. Thank you very much. NT5TM.
Thanks for not asking where babies come from. If students on campus ask me that, I refer them to Building X, second floor. That's where biology is. So, Slide Master, slide number 10. So as the moon wanes at the end of June, like we said, it's a waning crescent right now. So do these words for this segment of Skynet. Stay safe, keep for a world that's the only one where humans live. And until next time, actually I'll be doing another segment in Skynet in a few minutes. Keep looking up so you know what's up, and this is Chaz, KF5JJ. We're going to send it back to Dr. C, better known as Billy. It's all yours again.
Great, thank you very much, Chaz. This is KF5PDS Billy, your net control for this session of the DARC Skynet. So up next is space exploration and space history. So at this time, I'm going to turn the net over to Brenda, WB5OZL. The net is yours.
This is WB5OZL. In history, on June 25th, 1997, a Progress refueling vehicle misses rendezvous and docking at the Russian Mir space station and hits it violently. Poor investments and low quality are highlighted. It is the beginning of the end for the Russian space station. Vasily Sibilev is to drive the Progress M34 via a new remote control TORU. in place of the Ukrainian KURS. It seems to arrive too soon, so it speeds up. Think it's far away, but it's already 150 meters away. It's already here, shouts Lazutkin, and crashes. Cosmonauts hear their ears close, a bad sign. Sibilev yells at Foal in Russian to go to the Soyuz module. Foal slings, but the Russians remain trying to save the Mir. Foal comes back up and helps them and immediately realizes that it is his Spectre module that has been hit. With a knife, they cut all the cables that connect it between sparks and short circuits. The hatch does not close immediately because the air that comes out keeps it open. It's been 14 minutes. In 18 minutes, it would have all be over. They use the Soyuz to reorient it towards the sun, have some electrical power. Slowly, they manage to retrieve it. More history. Galileo was declared a heretic for belief in his heliocentrism. Galileo was declared vehemently suspect of heresy by the Vatican on June 22nd, 1633. The idea of a sun-centered solar system was not new, having been rejected for centuries. In news, Asteroid Day is a UN-sanctioned global awareness campaign participated annually on 30th June. Their mission is to inspire, engage, and educate the public about asteroids, opportunities, and risks. Every year, they produce Asteroid Day Live, a live broadcast with asteroid content and commentary from astronauts, experts, and celebrities. Asteroid Day is held on the anniversary of the Tunguska event in 1908, when an asteroid leveled about 2,150 square kilometers of forest in Siberia. You can find out more at asteroidday.org. And an asteroid mission is on hold, as NASA put an asteroid mission on hold Friday, blaming the late delivery of its own navigation software. The Psyche mission to a strange metal asteroid of the same name was proposed to launch this September or October, but the agency's Jet Propulsion Lab was several months late delivering its software for navigation, guidance, and control, a crucial part of any spacecraft. Engineers just ran out of time to test it, officials said Friday. Now the space agency is going to step back and an independent review will look at what went wrong, when the spaceship could launch again, and even if it should go ahead, NASA Planetary Sciences Chief Lori Glaze said. As an aside, rumor has it that the precious metals on Psyche could make every person on Earth a billionaire. Sounds legit. Birthdays. Brian Duffy, June 20th, 1953. He flew on STS 45, 57, 72, and 92. James Buckley, June 20th, 1945. STS 51C, 61A, 29, and 48. Gary Payton, June 20th, 1948. STS 51C. Don F. Isley, June 23rd, 1930. Apollo 7. Allison Onizuka, June 24th, 1946. STS 51C, 51L, which of course was the Challenger disaster. Jasmine Mogbelli. June 24th, 1983, SpaceX Crew 7. Raja Achari, June 24th, 1977, SpaceX Crew 3, Expedition 6667. And that is all. Back to net. This is WB50ZL.
This is KF5PDS, Billy, your net control for this session of the DARC Skynet. All right, let's take a quick check-in round, see if there's anyone on frequency. If you have not checked in yet for this evening's net, please come now with your call sign phonetically and slowly, name and where you're transmitting from.
Kilo 5, Mike Kilo, Richardson.
Hey, Kilo 5, Mike Kilo in Richardson. Could you give me your name, please?
The name's Adam.
Copy that, and welcome to the net, Adam. Was there another station? I thought I heard someone didn't get a call sign. If you'll come with your call sign phonetically and slowly, name and location.
Foxtrot 5.
Okay, station calling Kilo Foxtrot 5. If you could come with the rest of your name and location, please. Okay, not hearing. We'll come back and do another check-in round. So if you're having trouble with your radio, you'll have some time to get things right. If not, increase power, improve your position, and we'll try again after the next report. So at this time, I'm going to turn the net back over to Chaz, KF5JHA, for Miss Carolyn's Constellation of the Week. Chaz, the net is yours.
Thank you so much, Billy. I believe who was trying to check in was Kilo Foxtrot 5, Delta Charlie Golf. John, he's over on Echolink. I think he said he was in Fort Worth. So, okay. Slide Master, slide number 11. Miss Carolyn's Constellation of the Week is named in honor of Silent Key Carolyn, KC5OZT. Carolyn contributed to Skynet each week almost from its beginning in 2012 until May of 2019 with a detailed look at one particular constellation each week. Those are about 52 easily visible constellations seen in Texas throughout the year out of the 88 total constellations. So Miss Carolyn covered the entire sky as seen over North Texas in a year. In her honor, we've continued the tradition of a constellation per week and named this segment after her. So Miss Carolyn's Constellation of the Week this week is Scorpius, the Scorpion, and it's rising right now over there in the southeastern part of the sky. Scorpius is the constellation of the Scorpion and is one of the few constellations that look more or less like the creature that it represents. The best-known mythology regarding Scorpius is the Scorpion is a mortal enemy of Orion, the mighty hunter. Orion boasted that there was not an animal on the earth which he could not conquer. To punish him for his vanity, the goddess Juno sent the Scorpion to spring out of the earth and sting Orion, killing him. At the request of the goddess Diana, Orion was placed in the sky among the stars. Scorpius is also placed in the sky, but at the point exactly opposite where Orion was placed, so that when Scorpius rises, Orion sets, and vice versa. So the two are never seen in the sky at the same time. Slide Master, slide number 12, please. I believe you're right, JJ. If you're not on Echolink, you don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, the jokes of the week is slide number 12. The Scorpion killed Orion, just talked about that, in battle, and both were placed in the sky. How would you finish this as a joke, of course? They were placed in the sky as a constellation prize. Imagine you're about to be attacked by a giant scorpion. What do? Stop imagining it. What do you call a scorpion that has just scored a goal? A scorpion. I know. You're groaning out there. I hear you. All of you in the trailer, all 42 of you that are stuffed in the trailer at field day, yeah, you're all just groaning at that one, aren't you? The astronomer said, I don't believe in astrology at all. But I am a Scorpio, and we were all born skeptics. That's just funny, I think. What do you get when you cross a scorpion and a fish? A stingray. I don't know if that's that funny. I don't know. I walked into the house and spotted a scorpion. It watched every step I took. Okay, fill in the blank. It must have been a sting operation. Okay, if you're doing the slides tonight, Mr. Slide Master Tom, we need to go to slide number 13 and get me out of this. Antares really means the rival of Ares, with Ares being the Greek name for Mars, so is often translated as the rival of Mars instead. Its name comes from the fact that it looks so much like Mars because of its red color and the fact that it shines at about the same brightness that Mars is most of the time. During those times when Mars is in Scorpius and Ophiuchus region of the sky and is near Antares, the two make quite an interesting pair. Antares is a first magnitude M-type star, or red star. It is also a supergiant star. It is so huge that a star that, well, if you put it in our solar system, the entire orbit of Mars, yes. So the orbits of Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars would be inside the star. My friend Dennis Harwell says, with this in mind, if Antares and Mars were truly rivals, my money would be on Antares. She would be gobbling up all the rest? Yeah, okay. Antares is also a double star, has a faint companion that is slightly over 2 arcseconds away, and shining somewhere between 5th and 6th magnitude. It requires good optics and good seeing to split the star. The color of the companion star is often reported as a greenish color, although it is actually a blue color because there's no real green stars. The next star is Akrab, or Beta Scorpii. It simply means the scorpion in Arabic. Beta Scorpii is also a double star. It is much easier to split than Antares, earning it a place in the double star list of the Astronomical League Urban Club. Both stars are type B, or blue-white, and not much color contrast between them. Slide Master, slide number 14, please. M4. It's Charles Messier's object number 4 on his list, so it's called M4, is a globular cluster, and this single object, M4, is listed in 5 different Astronomical League Observing Program clubs. M4 is fairly easy to find since it is about the same low power field of view as Antares and nearby Sigma Scorpii. M4 is more sparsely populated than many other globular clusters. Some photographs show a denser vertical bar of stars across the center of the cluster. Visual observers have seen this as well. In his book, The Messier Object, Stephen James Amira likens this vertical bar to split pupil of a cat's eyeball. Interesting. Slide number 15, please. M80, we might be hearing a lot of those coming up here soon, on 4th of July, but M80 is actually the 80th object in Charles Messier's list, is another globular star cluster. It's the easy way to find M80 is to simply draw a line from Antares to Beta Scorpii, and then M80 is fairly nearly in the midpoint of this line. M80 is smaller than M4, but is more densely populated globular cluster. Due to its small size, in a 3-inch scope at low power, it is almost star-like, with only a bit of faint wispiness marking the outer regions. In a larger 8-inch or 10-inch telescope, the outer regions of M80 are better resolved into stars, but the core looks solid white to many observers. Now to two of my favorite objects. Number 16. Messier's list object number 6 and number 7 are the first two M objects that I ever found on my own with my 2-inch Tasco telescope. Any of you out there got Tasco telescopes? M6 is an open cluster. It has long been known as the butterfly cluster because many observers see the shape of a butterfly formed in the stars. The cluster has about 100 members spread over an area of about 26 arc minutes in diameter, just slightly smaller than the full moon's diameter. And slide number 17. M7 is a naked eye Messier object. M7 is sometimes referred to as Ptolemy's cluster because of the first written record of it was by Claudius Ptolemy back in the 2nd century. M7 is easy to find since it is visible to the naked eye. Just look for that fuzzy area in the stinger of the scorpion, or really close to it anyway. And this is KF5, JHA, and this is Skynet. Slide master, slide number 18, please. Many more Astronomical League observing program objects in the constellation of Scorpius the Scorpion. I'm just giving you a sampling of a few of those objects. The Astronomical League, at last count, I counted 70 different that's 73 different program objects, which is about 100 objects in each program. If you observe just 10 of those objects in one observing program each month, then you can earn an observing certificate and a pen in about a year. And slide master, slide number 19. That is Miss Carolyn's constellation of the week, Scorpius the Scorpion. I want to thank my friends Dave Hutchinson and Dennis Horwell for their research and words on deep sky objects I've used, borrowed, and I steal for every Skynet. I also at times use the website constellation-guide.com for information. Now next time, I'll take a look at Hercules, the Strong Man. That should be fun. This is KF5JJ, sending the net back to our net control, Billy. KF5PDS, it's all yours. 73, everyone. Have a fun field day.
All right, thank you very much, Chaz. And this is KF5TDS, Billy, your net control station for the DARC Skynet Field Day edition from Field Day in Farmers Branch. All right, next up is space launches for this week. So this time I'm going to turn the net over to our special guest presenter. This is Hudson. So welcome, Hudson, to Skynet.
I'll do space lunches for this week. June 25th, Electron Capstone launch time to be determined. Oh,
There you go, you can talk into the mic. Keep going.
Launch site, launch complete. 1B, Mahan Peninsula, New Zealand. A rocket lab Electron rocket will launch NASA's CIS Lunar Autonomous Positioning System Technology Operations and Navigation Experiment, or CAPSTONE, mission to the moon. CAPSTONE will fly to the moon on Rocket Lab's Photon Space Tug, entering a unique halo-like orbit to test deep space navigation and communications. In the same orbit to be used by NASA's Gateway Mini Space Station, moves from Launch Complex 2 and Virginia's Launch Complex in New Zealand, delayed from 2021 to COVID-related issues. This delayed from March 2022, delayed from June 6th and June 13th. Okay, next step. Late June, Falcon Starlink 421, launch time to be determined. Launch site LC-39A, Kennedy Space Center, Florida. A SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket will launch another batch of Starlink internet satellites into the Falcon 9. First stage boosters will land on the drone ship in the Atlantic Ocean. Move forward from June. SSLV demonstration launch.
We're not done yet.
Launch time to be determined. Launch site Sadish.
Yes,
Dwan. I don't know.
That is called India.
Okay. Oh, Space Center. India. India's Small Satellite Launch Vehicle (SSVL) will launch on its first orbital test flight, consisting of 3 solid fueled stages and liquid fueled upper stage (SSVL). And is a new Indian launch vehicle designed to carry a small satellite into the low Earth orbit, delayed from September and December 2019. Okay.
Ground carrier.
28 Falcon 9.
Keep going.
Okay. SES-22 launch time 2104 GMT.
Down to the launch site.
Move down to the what?
Launch site.
Launch site. Launch site. Okay. SLC-40 Cape.
Canaveral.
Okay. Canaveral Space Force Station, Florida. A SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket will launch to the SES-22 communication satellite for the SES of Luxembourg. Built by the Alina Space SES-22 provides C-band television and data services in the United States.
Yeah. Next. June 29th. Drop carrier. Which is release this mic for a sec.
Atlas 5 Atlas 5 USS F-12. Launch time to be determined. Launch site SLC-41 Cape I can't pronounce that.
Which one?
Right where the picture. Canaveral.
There's a picture in the way.
Canaveral. Yeah, Cape Canaveral.
Where they launch
a small Canaveral Space Force Station, Florida. A United Launch Alliance Atlas 5 rocket will launch the USSF-12 mission. Wide field view, field of view, or VFOV, experimental missiles, warning satellite for the U.S. Space Force. VFOV host to a new type of infrared starring sensors and I'm not going to pronounce that word. GSS.
Just make something up. Easy, they won't know.
Orbit to detect the heat from the missile's launch plumes. The USSF-12 mission will include additional right-share payloads. The rocket will fly in the 541 vehicle configuration with 5-meter fairing, 4 solid rocket boosters, and a single engine. Since our upper stage delayed. Do I have 3 more?
Almost done.
Oh, okay.
I'll be nice. Here.
Fly site Falcon 9 Starlink 3 to 1. Star time to be determined. Launch site SLC 4E Vandenberg Space Force. Force Base, California. SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket will launch another batch of Starlink internet satellites. This is the first dedicated mission deploying satellites in a new Starlink shell at I don't know.
Alliance, so like, just make up the word.
Okay. Of 97.6 degrees in the equator. The Falcon 9 first stage booster will land on a drone ship. Yeah, I know how to pronounce that. On a drone ship to the Pacific Ocean, June 14th. July 11th, Falcon 9 SpaceX CRS-95. Oh yeah. The launch time to be determined. Launch site LC-39A Kennedy Space Center, Florida. A SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket will be launched launch a Dragon 2 spacecraft on its fifth cargo resupply mission in the International Space Station. The Falcon 9's first stage resupply mission booster will land on the first drone ship in the Atlantic Ocean. The flight is the 25th mission by SpaceX conducted under a commercial resupply service contract with NASA Long March 5B Wintian. Launch time to be determined. Launch site Wenchang, China. A Chinese Long March 5B rocket will launch the Wenchang, I don't know. Okay, Wenchang laboratory model. The second major element of Chinese space station in low Earth orbit, April 20.
Kilo Foxtrot 5, Papa Delta Sierra, Billy, your net control for this session of the DARC Skynet. And thank you very much, Hudson, for a great report on space launches of the week. You did a great job. Okay, at this time, we'll take some more check-ins, so if you have not had a chance to check into this evening's net, please let me know your call sign phonetically, slowly with your name and location. Not hearing any check-ins, so this time I'll return the net to Brenda 50ZL for recent astronomical discoveries. Brenda, the net is yours. This is WB50ZL with recent astronomical discoveries. Southwest Research Institute scientists combined data from NASA's New Horizons mission with novel laboratory experiments and exospheric modeling to reveal the likely composition of the red cap on Pluto's moon, Charon, and how it may have formed. The first ever description of Charon's dynamic methane atmosphere using new experimental data provides a fascinating glimpse into the origins of this moon's red spot as described in two recent papers.
Prior to New Horizons, the best Hubble images of Pluto revealed only a fuzzy blob of reflected light, said SWRI's Randy Gladstone, a member of the New Horizons science team. In addition to all the fascinating features discovered on Pluto's surface, the flyby revealed an unusual feature on Charon, a surprising red cap centered on its north pole. Soon after the 2015 encounter, New Horizons scientists proposed that a reddish, tholin-like material at Charon's pole could be synthesized by ultraviolet light breaking down methane molecules. These are captured after escaping from Pluto and then frozen onto the moon's polar regions during their long winter nights. Tholins are sticky organic residues formed by chemical reactions powered by light, in this case the Lyman alpha ultraviolet glow scattered by interplanetary hydrogen molecules. Our findings indicate that drastic seasonal surges in Charon's thin atmosphere, as well as light breaking down the condensing methane frost, are key to understanding the origins of Charon's red polar zone, said SWRI's Dr. Ujjwal Raut, lead author of a paper titled Charon's Refractory Factory in the journal Science Advances. This is one of the most illustrative and stark examples of surface atmospheric interactions so far observed at a planetary body. The team realistically replicated Charon's surface conditions at SWRI's new Center for Laboratory Astrophysics and Space Science Experiments to measure the composition and color of hydrocarbons produced on Charon's winter hemisphere as methane freezes beneath the Lyman alpha glow. The team led the measurements into a new atmospheric model of Charon to show methane breaking down into residue on Charon's north polar spot. Our team's dynamic photolysis experiments provided new limits of Charon's red material, Raut said. Our experiment condensed methane in an ultra-high vacuum chamber under exposure to Lyman alpha protons to replicate the high-fidelity conditions of Charon's poles. SWRI scientists also developed a new computer simulation to model Charon's thin methane atmosphere. The model points to explosive seasonal pulsations in Charon's atmosphere due to extreme shifts in conditions over Pluto's long journey around the Sun, said Dr. Ben Teolis, lead author of a related paper titled Extreme Exospheric Dynamics at Charon, Implications for the Red Spot in Geophysical Research Letters. The team input the results from SWRI's ultra-realistic experiments into the atmospheric model to estimate the distribution of complex hydrocarbons emerging from methane decomposition under the influence of ultraviolet light. The model has polar zones primarily generating ethane, a colorless material that does not contribute to a reddish color. We think ionizing radiation from the solar wind decomposes the Lyman alpha cooked polar frost to synthesize increasingly complex redder materials responsible for the unique albedo on this enigmatic moon, Raut said. Ethane is less volatile than methane and stays frozen to Charon's surface long after spring sunrise. Exposure to the sun may convert ethane into persistent reddish surface deposits contributing to Charon's red cap. The team is set to investigate the role of solar wind in the formation of the red pole, said SWRI's Dr. Josh Kammer, who secured continued support from NASA's New Frontier Data Analysis Program. All right, this is from ScienceDaily.com. Back to net. This is WB5OZL.
KF5PDS, Billy, your net control for this session of the DARC Skynet. All right, next up is visible satellite passages over the next couple of days. So this time I'll turn the net over to Tom, KE5ICX. The net is yours.
All right. Thank you, Miss Billy. This is KE5ICX. And let's see here. We've got a few passes. Let me go ahead and bring them up so I can see them. We have this from the Heavens Above website. You can go there anytime. It's heavens-above.com. Plug in your longitude and latitude, and you'll get this information. So we've got one ISS pass, June 26th, which is pretty darn good. This one is minus 3.4 magnitude at 4:53 a.m. You're going to have to get up early. The west-southwest reaches highest point at 4:54 at 55 degrees, and it'll fall to the northeast at 4:57 a.m. Next is the Chinese space station called the Tiangong. I think there's 3 tachyonauts up there currently. There's a couple of passes for that one. June 27th has a good pass. This is 2.5 magnitude at 21:02 local time. Out of the west, it reaches highest point at 21:05 at the north-northwest, and it'll fall to the northeast at 21:08. Next is July 4th. That one will be, there it is, 1.6 magnitude at 22:12 in the evening. Out of the northwest, it reaches highest point at 50 degrees at 22:15, and it'll fall to the east-northeast at 22:16. And then finally we have Old Reliable. This is a polar satellite, Envisat, polar orbit. This is a very large, old, decommissioned weather satellite, no longer in service, but it's got such a huge footprint in the sky that it's fairly easy to see most times. Let's see, June 26th is a good pass. That one is 3.8 magnitude at 5:38 in the morning, reaches its highest point at 54 degrees at 5:43, and it falls to the south at 5:47. Then we have June 29th, that's 4.3 magnitude. That one's getting a little iffy, but you may be able to see it since it's moving. 5:26 a.m. out of the north-northeast, reaches its highest point at 41 degrees at 5:31, and falls to 5:35 out of the south-southeast. So obviously north to south on all of these. Those are the best ones I could find for this week, and following days after that into July. So I'm going to send it back to Miss Billy. This is KE5ICX.
Great, thank you, Tom. All right, we have some time for astronomical Q&A. So if you have a question for us, it could be about astronomy or space in general, please come now with your call. And we should have somebody on frequency that can answer your question. We've got a lot of folks on this evening's net. So again, if you have an astronomical question, please come now with your call sign. Okay, not hearing any questions, so at this time we'll move on to our 73 round. So are there any checked-in stations with any other remarks or questions? Okay, not hearing any, so we'll move on to final check-ins. This will be our final check-in round for this evening's net. So if you would like to get in for the please come now with your call sign phonetically, slowly, and your name and location.
Kilo, Foxtrot 5, Tango Sierra Kilo, Burl and Farmers Branch.
Kilo Foxtrot 5, Tango Sierra Kilo Burl, Field Day Farmers Branch, welcome. Do we have any other final check-ins for this evening's net? Okay, not hearing any, so we'll go ahead and wrap this up. Tonight we had 22 hams participating on the air, so thank you to all who checked in this evening. We hope you'll join us here next week and every Saturday night at 9 p.m. to discuss astronomy, space, and space exploration. On this net, the sky is never the limit. We're always looking for net control stations for this and all the other DARC nets. If you would like to try your hand at this, contact any of the net controls by sending an email to nets@w5fc.org. You can follow topics and discussion about this net and astronomy in general on Facebook and Twitter, as well as our audio and video streams, video archives, and other useful internet resources by going to w5fc.org at the conclusion of this net. So until next Saturday night, this is KF5's TDS, Billy, and I'll be closing the net at 22:23 local time and returning the repeater to normal amateur use. So 7-3 everybody, and enjoy the evening discovering the universe. And right now, as we said earlier, there is no Afterglow movie net. We are going to be watching live at Field Day Farmers Branch, Battlefield Earth. So come join us if you can, and hope to see you here. So 7-3 everybody.